What up, though, my okay. So dating out of the country. Let's talk about it. I already covered Zoom to Thailand and what I thought about it. Got some beautiful Thai women. I don't think that it's for me, but hey, things can change. But right at this point, it's not for me. But then there's Brazil. All right, so people, they tend to go with their own race. They tend to go with how they grew up, the women that were around them, the way they grew up, the way they're, their aunties, their moms, their, people who are in the family that look like them, they gravitate towards when it comes to women. This is not a strange Freudian thing. It's just that it's you like what you've been around. You're used to that, so you're comfortable with it. There's a comfort level to it. Uh, but now the new wave is if you can afford a passport, leave the country. And I've even heard I say, look, I'm not even going to have sex while I'm in the country. I'm going to go out of the country just to smash chick. He was also making a comparison in the cost of living, saying, just for to hang out one night in the States, party or whatever, that's 2 months, worth of whatever in, Brazil. Now, Brazil is attractive because it's not that far. And I actually know somebody who goes in and out of Brazil, Medellin. You go down there, they go to, all these places that you hear bad things about on the news. But this guy goes down there and there's women that are on it and they're good looking women. And the thing about Brazilians, they came from Africa. More slaves landed in Brazil than landed in the United States. So there's some type of familiarity. Once you get across the language barrier, you're like, okay, these people are they're black, pretty much. Their culture is like yours, you know what I mean? And you're just like, okay. And sometimes you look at the Brazilians and think they have the same hue as maybe the majority of Latino people or something like that. But there are very dark skinned Brazilian people. And for somebody who prefers dark skin women, this is something that I would consider. I don't know how to speak their language or anything, but you can get past that. So there are a lot of men. There's been a documentary about men who have taken a trip down to Brazil and said, you know what, let's try it. Let's see what it's like. And they hung out down there and they got raving results. Now, of course, it's all kind of dangerous with going to another country, uh, you know, going down there and doing something stupid and not being able to make it back. There's that. Then there's the men down there, how they feel about black men coming down there and dating their women. I haven't heard a lot of pushback on that because that is a big fear when it comes to black men. If we go to another neighborhood and we're not recognizing that neighborhood, that could be our life. If we are in the same neighborhood and go to a woman's house that we just met, that could be it for us. Guys will kill you just because, just because. That is the way it is. There are there are men who have died just going to visiting a woman, famous and non-famous, just going to see a woman in your own neighborhood. Another guy got jealous, bang, that's it. Ended your life. This is happening to rappers right now. And you just show up in a hood and they're like, there's a man, we're gonna kill him. They don't want a bunch of men coming into the hoods because they're gonna mate with the women. So it's very dangerous to meet a cutie online and then go see her. That's a very, very dangerous thing nowadays because you see it all the time on social media. There have been guys have, one guy went to see a woman and he lost his vehicle, he lost his wallet, I mean, they packed him out. He lost everything just going to see this woman. And then you have the women who are setting men up. You see a lot of videos now of men who are, going after these women with reckless abandonment because these women have set them up. And so they have no mercy for the woman. So it's very scary nowadays to meet somebody and to think she's not going to be like that. She's going to be nice. She's going to be feminine. She's going to be sweet. And you guys are going to get along great. There is a high risk that that's not going to be the case at all. There is a good chance now that there is a man in her life somewhere or men. And as soon as you show up at the front door, you're going to lose everything you have and possibly your life. That's the big thing going on here. Now, Brazil is known for robbing people. They're known for it. Those women will rob you. This is true. But America, in the hoods, especially in the hoods, there is just everybody recognizes that in America, no one is safe. No one is safe when it comes to meeting a female. When Tupac said, when a man gets horny, he dies. When a guy gets horny, a man dies. Because he sees a nice body and he wants to mate. And, there's a danger in that because you could, lose your life trying just to find the mate, not even the actual mating. So all of these risks are very concrete and they're very, visible. Everything social media, when it goes to court, we all see it. Nothing is being hidden anymore. So the attraction to go outside of your country instead of dying is very real. Like, I don't even want to sleep with anyone because I don't want to risk it, listen, I met a young lady, in her young 20s. She was like, yeah, we can hang out. We can do this. We can get something to eat. She said, I can help you clean up your house, this, that, and the third. And I was like, oh, that sounds nice. But I don't know what comes with that. Now, 20 years ago, I would have been all over it. We would have been hanging out by now. But now you don't know if you're going to get robbed. You don't know if she's going to lead other people to your house. You don't know what young men are going to be jealous. You don't know if they're going to show up and, try to pack you out and just plain old just show up to kill you. You have no idea. So this is why men who are staying on the square and like, nah, I'm good. I'm going to just get this money. Getting their money and they're, keeping their paperwork straight. They're like, I'm going to start going out of the country, see what I can find. Because America is dangerous when it comes to sex. This is why pornography is at an all-time high. That's why you have OnlyFans at an all-time high. All these women making money off of OnlyFans. That's why it is, because men have decided it is too much of a risk to mate. These tarantulas out here will do you in. These women are, they're saying one thing on social media and you're believing it. But when they show up at your door and get comfortable with you, next thing you know, you're tied up in a basement or you're meeting your maker. And guys are like, damn, I just wanted to, bust. I just wanted to, squeeze some ass. I wanted to, make love. I wanted to just be a man. Well, women know this. They know that the more that they flash on social media, the more men are going to jump in their DMs. The more, booty shorts they run around with, TikTok shorts they run around with, the more they do the hip dance and all this stupidity, the more that they do, the more you're going to jump in their DMs because a man can't help but to be horny. But he can help whether to, follow that or not. So men are like, screw that. I'm going out of the country. It's just better that I leave. I'm going to leave. I'm tired of this. And I'm going to, whether you just find a girl for a night or somebody that you actually chill with, like Richie Mack did. You find himself a nice Thai girl, and bang, he's good. Richie's good. He's like, oh, I'm set. Talks about her all the time. She's nice. She cooks for him. She cleans. She cuts his toenails. She's on her game. He's like, listen, these hotter women are down there. He's like, of course, there's some women that are down here that are going to try you, but I'm good. I'm set. You don't hear Richie Mack talking about, I want to come back and try to date another woman in America. But he comes back to America all the time. But he don't come back here saying, I can't wait to get back here to, start dating. No, he's happy with his Thai woman. And like I said, that might not be, my choice, but, there's Brazil and there's other countries, and I've lived in other countries. And I'm telling you guys, it's not a bad idea to get your money together, get some time, and just go on a trip for a couple of days and visit other countries. Now, of course, you always run the risk of getting with one of these women and they fool you, and then they come back here, and then they act like the American girls. Or, you marry one of these women and then you go through all kind of problems because now you're married to her and she shows her true colors. She was a trickster the whole time. So there is a risk. When you're horny, there's a risk. When you're trying to mate, there's a risk. Loyalty is at an all-time low. Disrespect at an all-time high. Women are doing things that you just wouldn't think a woman would do. But listen, guys, I know, especially some of you older guys who are still, horny, you could still have children. You're just like, damn, I can't even find. Listen, you guys don't risk your life over sex. We know that it's a prime directive. We know it's a drive. We know it's a trap. You gotta consult God, because you're like, this young lady wants me to, wants to do the grown man dance. You better consult the Lord about that. And listen, I'm struggling just like you because I love me some women folk. And, in my younger years, I was active. I was chasing. I was literally running after chicks. And for like 30 years, I was trying to track down ass all the time. That's what I woke up and thought about. I didn't even care so much about anything else except, of course, work, making money. But women were a prime directive. And the women that were around me, that's what they wanted to do, but they didn't want to marry me. You know what I'm saying? They were just like, we'll give you some sex, but we're not going to marry you. You know what I mean? And then once you get older, you're just like, shoot, I want to marry one. Well, guess what? That's hard to do. That's hard to marry a faithful chick. Like that's hard. So brothers, be careful, because we know that some of you still want to get married. Some of you still have faith in the American woman. And there are some good women out there. They're just really, really, really hard to vet. They really are. And now this movement where women want a man that makes, 5 times more than what they do. If that even comes up, listen, if you can't take that woman on a coffee date, don't even bother. I'm telling you now, because you can get on an airplane, fly across, the water a couple hours, land, and you'll find women who will be more than happy to have coffee with you. And that's a shame you got to spend $1,000 just to do that. But if that's the old-fashioned style of life that you still want to live, there's nothing wrong with doing that. These women won't even have coffee with you. They won't have tea with you. They won't go to a barista with you. They won't go and have a chicken sandwich with you. It's beneath these average women to do this because they want to brag about it on social media to see how important they are. Well, don't bother with those women who are like that. Well, we can't go to McDonald's. Guess what? There are women in Brazil who would love to go to McDonald's with you. I'm telling you now, there are women in Thailand and all these other countries. They'll love to go. You want to go to McDonald's? Let's go eat. They'll love to eat with you. These women think McDonald's is beneath them. McDonald's, it's just like, are you hungry or not? Yeah, but you want to take me on a date to McDonald's. You know what, honey? That's fine. We don't need to go anywhere. Just leave her where she's at. She's gonna talk about you. She's gonna badmouth you to her friends, but don't, and she's gonna text you and hit you on social media trying to make you look bad. Stay on your square and be like, listen, it is what it is. I wanted to take you to Mickey D's because I grew up eating it. I still like to eat it. I play sports. A lot of times we stopped at Mickey D's. We had great laughs, great fun. I thought it would be fun to just go have some nostalgia, go to Mickey D's, grab a ham sandwich, chicken sandwich, whatever, and have a good time. I didn't know that it was beneath every woman in America to go on a first date to McDonald's. They want you to immediately spend $200 on them, on just their food. They want you to go to whatever steakhouse, spend $200 on their, and then ghost you. Not call you back. You try to get in touch with them, you get left on red. It's over. They go on social media, brag about the food that they ate to their girlfriends, and say, look, I got this dude. He paid $200 just for my food. This is just my food. That's the move now. So I'm telling you, listen, don't do that. Don't do that. And I find myself wanting to simp because there's just some fine women out here. You're just like, oh my God, look, what can I buy? But then when you catch yourself, you're just like, this girl don't care about you. And I know the old fashioned way of living. Men like making money and showing off that they got money to a woman because it attracts a woman, and then you guys end up courting because she sees that you're stable. That's not the way it is today. It's different. You show off that you got money, you're a target. Whether you hit the lottery, hit a stock, hit a lick, whatever you did, you got a surplus of cash. She's going to be texting. You think she's going to be texting her friends. She's actually texting some guys. She's telling guys what's going on. So you got to be careful. And this is why going out of the country is not a bad thing to do. I've lived out of the country before, and it's different. They don't treat you like you're nothing. I'm just saying, for you guys, for you men who are sick of it, and you got yourself a passport, you got yourself some time on your hands. Go outside of the country, meet different women, have a different experience, and go to some of these countries that won't cost you an arm and a leg to stay there for a weekend. And when you do, you're gonna find that it's a whole new ballgame. Once you get through the weeds of the women who are just crazy and out to do bad, and then the women who are actually looking for a mate, you're gonna find out Brazil and a bunch of these other countries. These women are like, yeah, I'm with you. Let's go. Let's rock. And the thing about some of these women is that they're not only with your program, they're like, let's do it now. You're going to find that. Because like I said, I know somebody who goes into these countries, he doesn't even do it to date the women. They just gravitate toward, he's a regular dude. He's not even 6 feet. I don't even think he's 5'10". But when I tell you he's got pictures of him with beautiful women all the time, I'm like, what's going on? They don't care about you having a Mercedes Benz. When you see these videos of women clowning guys who's got a 2017, whatever that was he was pushing, and she was clowning him for it, I was like, I don't stand a chance. I drive a 2001 and I drive a 2007, both Chevy trucks. I can't keep up with you women. I don't have a 2017, nothing. Not nothing. So I know I don't make enough for you. But if I get on a plane, go across the water and touch down and can get around, on a taxi, get myself a little hotel, stay there for a week, whatever, I guarantee probably within a couple nights, there's going to be some woman that's going to be like, yeah, you know what, you're cool. And I'll be like, listen, I don't make a lot of money. She's going to be like, so what? So that's all I'm saying, guys. Stop putting all your eggs in one basket. Stop risking your life just to try to squeeze some titties. Listen, you guys, you have a whole world literally of options. You don't have to settle for women who just don't like you. They don't want nothing to do with you. They look at you and go, ew. They look at your wallet first before they actually look at you. They have this standard that you can't compete with. I can't compete with the woman's standard today. Look. I saw a nice woman yesterday. I had to keep going because I automatically know that as soon as I introduce myself to her, she's gonna look at me and start rating me. How tall am I? What does my hair look like? What does my clothes look like? She's gonna start calculating how much that she thinks that I make, and she's gonna judge off of that. She's gonna go, no, no, it's not gonna happen. So don't even waste your time. Don't even wait. Book yourself a trip. Book yourself. Look, you don't want to get yelled at. You don't want to get clowned. You can't walk up to a group of women without them completely berating you and taking pictures of it and then putting you on social media and just tearing you down. That's what America's doing to men. And I'm like, what's the point? What in the few and listen, now there's this sudden wave of women who are going, you know what, screw femininity. I need a man, blah, blah, blah. But you notice a lot of them already have children. And listen, I ain't got nothing against a woman who has children. That's what you decided to do. That's on you. But you can't present yourself to a man and him not consider the fact that you have kids. You just can't do it because it is a financial thing. I can't look at you and look at your 6-year-old and just ignore the 6-year-old. You know what I mean? It's that person is in the picture. I have to consider the financial repercussions of dating you because you have a 6-year-old. We're not getting around it. We're not getting past it. We're not getting over it. And you can say, listen, I take care of my kid. You don't have to. That's nonsense. These are some of the things women say until you really get in a relationship. But let me bring food home for you and not your child and see what happens. Let me buy you a gift on your birthday and not your child and see what happens. Let me just completely neglect the child as far as doing anything for them. The kid likes to play sports. I completely ignore that. I'm not buying your child anything for sports. See what that relationship ain't gonna last long at all. Because that child is a factor. And any man who wants to date somebody with the child has to start calculating the cost of the child. You have to do it. And you have to look at your pockets and you have to look at your bank and look at your future and go, can I afford a woman with a 6-year-old? Can I afford a woman with, 2 toddlers or, 2 teens? Can I afford 2 teens? 2 13-year-olds? Can I afford them? And if you're looking at your bank account and going, I can't afford them, then you might as well just go ahead and walk away and say, hey, listen, and tell her the truth. Listen, honey, you're beautiful, you're a very nice woman and everything, but you have 2 teens and I can't afford them. And she'll go, well, you don't have to worry about them. Listen, as a man, what you're saying is a slap to the face. If I don't worry about your 2 kids, then what kind of man am I? If I don't come into the picture and go, your 13-year-old son and your 14-year-old daughter are just as important as you, especially financially. If I don't look at that, I'm not doing my job. I'm not coming in to be stepdad and being a real good stepdad. I'm not, because those kids are going to feel neglected. So you have to calculate what the cost of these 2 children are. And if you can't afford it, just say, hey, listen, I can't afford it. If you want to date me casually, that's fine. But the truth is, I couldn't afford to take it into the next level, into the next stage, because your kids will break my bank. And if I'm not going to marry you, then, we'd both be wasting our time. And at this age, I really don't have time to waste. I'm looking to marry after 6 months. So I'm going to go ahead and go. But nice meeting you. And listen, it'll hurt you, it'll hurt her, but that's the reality. That's where we're at. So there are some good women out there who are turning things around and who are speaking on men's behalf. But the thing is, lady, it's too late. There's a mass exodus of black men and white men, but especially black men who have decided to leave the country. Some are not coming back, and some will come back into the country, but they have no interest in the American woman. And for those of you women who have finally seen the light, a lot of you have made some mistakes in your life that will cost your suitor. And a lot of these are children out of wedlock. Children out of wedlock is a mistake. And some of you go, no, I did it on purpose, or the guy wasn't right to marry. No, any way around you look at it, it's a mistake. I have a child. My child is 26 or 27, I think. That was a mistake. Now, I tried to marry the mother, but she didn't want to do that. It's a mistake. Now, she ended up finding a good guy and married him. So, she did good on that end. But it makes things harder when you have that child. Now, the guy that she married makes good money. But if he did make good money, could he have married her, yes, but you know what I'm saying? It's harder. So I'm just saying, ladies, having a child out of wedlock is a mistake, and financially, a guy has to pay for that. Listen, I don't care if you're a millionaire. That guy still is going to have a responsibility to your children. If your son goes out, your 11-year-old goes outside and is hanging out or whatever, and comes running in the house because he got a black eye, is the guy going to say, hey, your son has a black eye? Or is the guy going to run out the house and say, what the hell happened? The guy, he's going to run out the house and he's going to be ready to confront whatever it is that happened to this child. Even if it's, a losing fight, he's going to be like, hey, this is what it is. Okay, I'll lose, but if I go back into this house, you better be gone. That's all there's to it. I'm not a fighter. You're bigger than me. Fine. I'm going to go back in the house, but I'm going to come back out, and you better not be here, or you're going to be laid out right on my lawn. It is what it is. So that's what I'm saying. The child is always a responsibility, whether you have it or whether you're marrying into it. Regardless, it is a natural response for a man to want to take care of a child if he's involved with that woman, if he wants to be with that woman. Regardless of what you ladies say, it is my natural response to want to protect this child, this little boy, this little girl. I want to see them grow up right. I want to see them protected. I want them to be happy if possible, because teenagers nowadays. But I don't want something externally to affect the trajectory of them having a good life. So I'm going to do whatever is in my ability to do that, whether it's financially, physical, spiritual. I want this kid to have a good life because I'm in the mother's life and I love the mother. So a lot of the stuff that you women say to try to deter a man from getting involved with you because you have a kid and say, hey, don't mind the kid. No, we mind the kid. It's the first thing we mind, actually. It's the first thing we mind. So this is what I'm saying. There are a lot of, because of the feminist movement and the way it hit Black families, and even before the feminist movement, when the government took over the Black household, there have been a lot of women who have thrown the Black man under the curb, and they separated the house of, the Black family. And the Black women decided, I'm going to go out here and work. I'm going to grab a career. We've all heard this before. But the knee-jerk reaction to that is the Black man being left out of the family still wants to have a family. So you're not going to stop nature. Man still wants to have a woman. He still wants to procreate. He still wants to see his offspring. But we can't do that with you because the way you look at us is not conducive to us having a relationship that's going to stand the test of time. One thing goes wrong and you're out of here. I lose my job, you leave. I lose a fight, you leave. I cry at a movie, you leave. And trust me, they do that. I've had one woman say, never cry in front of me. You leave. You cheat on me. You something. You go outside the confounds of the relationship. You're gone, whether spiritually, physically, socially, something. You betrayed me. You leave. I'm not standing up to your standard. You want attention from another man. Well, all of this has come to fruition. All of this is in the forefront now. It's not hidden. And because it's not hitting, you have a whole wave of black men that are coming up and seeing what's happened to their fathers and going, I'm not going through this. I'm going to make my money and I'm going to go to another country. And you have the older men, the 40, 50-year-old men saying, we're tired of struggling. Why are we beating ourselves up year after year after year? We're not going to get any richer. We're not. The average man makes what, $42,000 to $45,000 a year. That's all you get. We're not going to go back to school because you want to be with us. Oh, I'll date you, but you have to go back to school so you can do better. Absolutely not. We're older. We're comfortable where we're at. We're happy with 45,000, 30,000. That's what it is. This 1-bedroom, the 2-bedroom apartment, this is what I can afford. This is what it is. Sorry, ladies. We're not going to go to management and say, hey, make me a manager so we can get stressed out at a job that we don't like. We're not doing it. This is what it is. This is what it is. Sorry. And you women are like, it's not good enough for me according to whom? According to social media? Now it's not good enough for you. Yeah, now it's not good enough for you according to social media. So the men are tired. Just saying, we're going to Brazil. You go to Brazil, you see a woman that's in shape. Let's just start right there. You don't see a bunch of fat girls. You're going to see a woman that's in shape. Another thing you're going to see is a smile on her face. I've been to 5 different countries, and I can't tell you not one country I've been to where I've seen a bunch of obese people. I can't tell you that. Not everybody's a supermodel, but when I say that they're average weight, it's amazing. It is amazing. But here, you have to accept Lizzo. No, you don't, guys. The standard that women have created for themselves, you do not have to accept. You don't have to accept arguing and boisterous and loudmouth, backbiting. You don't have to put up with constantly being deceived, constantly being put down, a woman hitting you. You don't have to put up with none of that. Taking you to court every 5 seconds, you don't have to put up with none of that. You have a choice, but you have to get on your square in order to exercise that choice. If you don't do that, then that's your fault. And you're going to stay here in the muck and mire and deal with the women who don't like you and hope to find a woman that does. But here's the problem with that. When you're being beat up so long and you've been in toxic relationships so long, you become toxic. You are what you eat. A good woman can come along, diamond in the rough, and you don't know how to treat her. You want to yell at her. You want to hit her. You want to screw her instead of make love to her. You don't want to listen to her. You don't care about her family. You don't care about her day. Well, she's only going to be good to you for so long. She's going to get the message. She's going to go, you know what? I'm a good woman. And, I know you're traumatized from your past relationships and you need to go to therapy. You need to get that out. And, until you do, I'm going to go ahead and find somebody else. And she's going to walk right out of your life. There are some good women here in America. But like I said, the biggest problem with the women who finally are waking up to all of this is this trust issue. It's too late. It's too late for a lot of you. A lot of you getting on social media and saying what you want now, and you are way past your prime. Way past your prime. And you have to understand, for you women who get upset at this, we don't care. We don't care that now you want to be this whatever Stepford wife. We don't care. We don't. Now you want to wear dresses. Now you want to, what I'm saying? Now you want to take your pictures off. We don't care. You want to take your pictures off of social media. Now you want to act like you're this chef in the kitchen. We don't care. We don't care. We're not coming to your rescue. We don't. You were exhausting a year ago. You're still exhausting. We don't care, ladies. We don't. We're finished. You did what you wanted to. You did what you wanted to. You followed these hyenas right over the cliff, and you made yourself uncompatible. And then you televised it. And that's the worst thing. Because if you had a bad relationship with a man, that's between you and him. But you televised it. Like the woman who poured the man's mom's ashes over the bridge. She televised it. As if this is okay for every woman to do. And she caught a misdemeanor for that. She went to jail for that. She didn't televise that. You women who are smashing up your man's cars and all this, these are misdemeanors and they can easily go into felons. And the next time you want to get a job somewhere, they're going to look up your record and say, we can't hire you. That's called being disenfranchised. This is a trick that police used to, and they still do, use against black men. They'll arrest you, they'll cause a ruckus, they'll put you in jail, they'll over-indict you to try to get something that sticks. They'll try to get a felony charge on you. And even if the felony is knocked down to a misdemeanor, the felony is still on your BCI record. If it's on your BCI record, there are some jobs that will not hire you because it stays on your BCI. You can get it expunged down at the courthouse, but you can't get it off of your BCI record. And because of that, you can't get a job for the city, the county, the state, or federal. All of those options are no longer available to you. This is what the police would do all the time. Now you women are doing it to yourself. You go out and you start smashing up your man's car, start denting it up, putting paint on it and all this stuff, and then put it on social media. There are all kinds of charges that are brought against you. And we know that you did it. And they'll over-indict you. And you think because you made bail, you did, 2 or 3 months in jail, it's okay to do this. But what you're not looking at is the long run. When you want to get a passport and you have a felony, guess what? When you want to get a firearm and you have a felony, guess what? There are all kinds of things that will slow you down when you have felonies. When you want to get a loan so you can, you finally in your 40s and you want to make your living better, guess what you did in your 20s that's coming back to haunt you now that you want to buy this house? Now that you want to buy this car? Now that you want to, deal with FHA? Now that you have some responsibility and some decorum about you, guess what you can't do? They're going to look at that and they're going to go, nope. They're not going to be like, yeah, you can borrow $300,000 and you got felonies. It's going to be harder to do. You know what's going to happen? Your interest is going to go through the roof. It's going to go from 8% to freaking 14 to 25. It's going to be ridiculous. You're going to pay for what you do. I'm just telling you, ladies, you did it the wrong way. You did it wrong. And for you women who this doesn't pertain to, thank you very much. But for a lot of you who jumped on this bandwagon, you ruined your chances at a happier life. Now, some of you think you don't need a man. That's fine. We're not talking to you. You don't need a man. This has nothing to do with you. You don't want a man. Nothing to do with you. I'm talking to the women who realize the benefit of a two-income household. That's what I'm talking to. I'm not talking to the women who's strong and independent and screaming about it on social media. Listen, we want you to be what you want to be. If you want to be strong and independent, ladies, go right ahead. You don't have to announce it to us. We're not going to track you down and try to get you to come back from being strong and independent. Go be strong and independent. I want a woman to tell me if she's strong. I'm a strong and independent woman, so and I'm gonna look at her and I'm going to thank her because she just saved me a lot of money. I'm not going to deal with you. I've met strong and independent women. And you know what I tell them? You don't need me. Because if you're trying to outmuscle me, then you're doing my job. I'm not trying to out-feminize you. I'm not a feminine man. I'm a whole man. Regular, degular, that's what I am. I'm not going to try to come on your side of things. You handle that. You do that. You be soft and nurturing and all that other stuff. You're a pro at it. This is what you're built for. Knock that out. Yeah, I'm with all that. But when it comes to the rah-rah, I do that. That's my job. That's my job. So you women who are independent, that's what you want to be, push on. Listen, it's a good thing for you to exercise your heart's desire if they're not hurting someone. If you have desire to be, just a run off on your own and handle everything on your own, go for it. Handle that. I think that's a beautiful thing. Hell, I'm cheering you on, ladies. Be independent. But when you hit your 40s and 50s, you're going to start looking like Vivica A. Fox and her group of spinsters. You're going to start listening to some of these women, some of these very famous women. And you're going to start listening to how some of them talked about how they were when they were 20. And they had more options than you because, one, they're better looking than you. Two, their choice of men was a higher caliber than yours. Three, their finances are more than yours. And four, their family was behind them to go after these high-valued men. But you know what they did? They did a Lori Harvey. They threw away chances at high-valued men, but they stayed around them because in their mind, these men will always be at my beck and call. But there's only so many Michael B. Jordans that you're going to get a chance at. There's only so many Diddy's that you're going to get a chance at. I'm telling you, there's just not that many of those men out there. And then eventually you're going to, you're in your 20s now. Listen, tomorrow morning, you're going to be 30. Those men are not going to come calling. They're not. That's not the way it goes. Once you hit 35 and you're knocking on 40's door, by this time next weekend, those phone calls stop. They're not trying to see you naked. The value that you have between your legs is not that valuable anymore. And if you don't believe me, go listen to Queens. Go listen to these women who are, 40, 50-year-old. Listen to them talk. And they're all single. Listen to how angry they are. Just listen to them. They speak all the time on YouTube. Listen to how angry and bitter they are. Bitter. Especially when it comes to talking about men. They are on fire. Just bitter, just hateful, just resentful. And then some of them are actually apologists. And they'll tell you, listen, I was like this when I was younger. I thought, I had the world at my feet, but I was mean to these men. There's this one woman said, she said I was mean. She said, I regret it. I regret that. She said, because now I'm older and things have changed. And I'm telling you, that's not where she wants to be. She wishes she can go back to her 20s when she was in her prime, where everybody thought she was the bee's knees, where men who are heads of state, movie stars, because that's the people she was around, dancers, singers, who wanted to wipe her up. We're not talking about a bunch of man hoes, because that's going on. There's a lot of that. We're talking about men who want you and you only. Denzel Washington being with his wife and still together. Samuel L. Jackson with his wife still together. We're talking about men like that. She had choices of those men and told them no because she was mean. She was young. She was beautiful. Everybody wanted to sniff her panties. So she thought that these men will always be like this. Let me tell you something. You got about 10 years of that. You got about 10 years, and that's an if. It's just the truth. And once men find out that you're mean, those years, they diminish quickly because people know you're a pain in the ass. You got about 10 years of that. Ladies, you do. You got from 18 to about 28. What are the chances Amber Heard is going to get another Johnny Depp? While she was married, she came on to Kevin Costner. She walked right into, they were doing a movie together. She walked right into his, little living space, butt ass naked. She cheated on him with James Franco. What are the chances Amber Heard and all her, with the damage that she's done publicly? Because what she did was, some of it is on camera. What are the chances she's going to walk into another Johnny Depp, a multimillionaire, somebody who women who are still 25 years old would love to bag? She called Johnny Depp an old man. Do you know this old man can go into any college and get one of these beautiful women straight off of a magazine cover? Johnny Depp can roll up on just about any woman he wants and start talking like Captain Jack, and it is over. And she called him an old man who plays guitar in his garage with his old friends. What are the chances Amber Heard is going to snag herself a 21-year-old and he's going to marry her and stay with her for the rest of her life? Who's got the better option, Johnny or Amber? Samuel L. Jackson is what, 70? What are the chances Samuel L. Jackson, if he wasn't married, can get a woman in her 30s? Chances are good because he's Samuel L. Jackson. But what are the chances that a woman in her 60s can turn around and bag a man in his 20s, 30s? Even if she's a millionaire. But that one popular woman, I forgot what her name is, white woman, she's 60 years old. Money out the yin yang. 60 years old, regrets it. She's got all this money and she cannot find a suitor. She knows that she's going to die alone. She knows it. Now, she'll probably have family around her, but she won't have a husband. This is why it's just not a bad idea for the men to say, you modern women, you ruined it. It's just best that I I take what little money I have, my McDonald money, and you kind of just you want to see who wants to eat McDonald's with you. That's really what it comes down to. I'm going to McDonald's. Anybody want to come? And the women who want to join you, that's who you pick from. But the women who think that McDonald's is suddenly beneath them, you concede. You go, thank you, ladies. Thank you for the heartache that you would have caused me. Thank you for the money that I would have spent. Thank you for the precious time that I would have spent trying to make you happy, and it wasn't even possible. Thank you for your honesty. Wouldn't you love it if a woman was just straight up honest? Find yourself a woman who doesn't mind McDonald's, guys. If you have to go to another country to do it, then that's what you do. Trust me, there is a woman out there who is beautiful, who is nice, who loves to smile, who doesn't think that cooking a meal is slavery. You women turn domestication into slavery. That's what some of you women are saying. It's slavery. You're calling us slave masters. Let me ask you something, ladies, because a lot of you women get into sexless marriages. I'm just curious to what exactly a woman is supposed to be doing in a marriage. I was listening to this rapper, this rich dude. He says, my wife doesn't have, or my girlfriend at the time doesn't have to do anything. He said, we even have a housekeeper and we have a chef. She doesn't have to do any of that. But he asked her one day to cook him something, and she said no. He said, I got rid of her after that. I kicked her out. I kicked her out the house. You know what she did? She went on social media and cried because, she got a child with him. And she cried about how much of a bad guy he is. And everybody was on her side until he said she does nothing. She wouldn't even cook me a meal. I pay for everything. She does absolutely nothing. And I got tired of it. What do you don't want to sleep with your man. You don't want to cook anything. You don't want to clean anything. You don't want to work. A lot of you women are mad about working. You don't want to work. You want the man to cover all the bills. Please, somebody, for the life of Brian, please explain to me what a woman's job is. Because at this point, there are millions of American men who don't know what to expect in a long-term relationship. We don't know what we're going to get if we bring a woman into a household. We don't know that once we put a ring on it and a wedding dress and all this other stuff that's a complete lie. We don't know if after you take the wedding dress off and you show the ring to all your family, and I take you on a $6,000 vacation, put you up in a $300,000 house. I got you, a brand new Honda, whatever. After I spend $20,000 on the ring, another $10,000 on the wedding. After I'm in debt for the rest of my life, just because of you. After all this, what exactly did I trade for? What was the incentive? Because we used to know what that was. We knew that we was going to get a dutiful, loyal wife. We also know that having a dutiful, loyal wife put us in better positions in our jobs. Because there's only so much success in corporate that you get as a single man. Because the married men would look at the single man and go, why do we need to give you a raise? Why do we need to put you in this executive position? You're single. You have no kids, no other responsibility. You don't need the money. So what they would do is they would look for somebody who looked like them, who had wife, kids, and they would go, Jason, you're out. Tom, you're in. And Tom would be less qualified. But they wanted to give somebody this position because they need to fill it. So they would look at Tom and go, Tom, you got a wife, you got a daughter. She's what? She's what, 5? Cute little kid. That is a legacy, that 5-year-old. So they go, we want to put you in this position. Be like, what about Jason? He's more qualified. Jason is not married. You've been struggling at $60,000. We know where you live. You live in a decent part of town. We know you come to work every day. You're loyal to the job. You're in 100%. We know that you're in. Jason has missed a couple days. He's come in late. Why? Because $60,000, he can live off of $40,000 and be happy. You can't do that. We know that your wife does not work. She is a homemaker. We've met your wife. She is a good homemaker. And my wife likes your wife. My wife sees her in you. My wife is 40. Your wife is 22. And my wife loves your wife. And that's what we want to see. That's the image we want to see. My wife wants to invite you guys over to dinner all the time. You understand that? There's only so far you're going to get in corporate America when you're single. And that's the way these men, that's the game. That's the way they look at other men. They're not looking at the guy who just went out and bought himself, a $60,000 Corvette. They're looking at the guy driving in the Honda CRV, with the, kid thing in the back, kid seat in the back. They're looking at that guy because he needs the money. Why? Because his need equals loyalty. And that's what they're looking at. If they're looking at Jason could be gone. He'll skip. Boom. He's been sending out his resume. And they know it, but they ain't said nothing. They've been following his emails. You're all in. Loyalty. You're loyal. And we know you'll be loyal for the next, 10, 15 years. We know you're going to be loyal. Your wife is pregnant again, ain't she? Yes, she is. Oh, yeah, that's loyalty. That's what I'm saying. There's a whole rhythm to being married. There's a whole benefit there. You think when that 5-year-old hits her teens, she's going to be struggling? No, she's not. Because she's got a whole surrogate family that's looking out for her that she's not even aware of. She's not even aware of. These older men, these 50-year-olds, have been looking out for her. As soon as they met them, they've already taken in consideration that this child here is a legacy. And if we can keep this guy in our company, he's going to take care of this child here. And they're going to grow up like our children. That is a whole community. And that's the way they think. And when she gets older, she's going to take care of her parents. She's going to have kids. And the same thing is going to happen over, and it's cyclical. So you guys just need to be aware of there are benefits to having a nuclear family. But for the people who don't understand this, you don't need to beat it into their head that having a husband is beneficial in so many areas. It's the same thing with women. Women who are single are looked at completely different than women who are married. Completely different, especially once you hit your 30s. I had an ex-girlfriend come back to me. She seen me, after some years, she decided to run off with another man. I said, cool. I saw her some years ago in a grocery store. He asked me how I was doing. How you doing? Blah, blah, blah. We hung out that night, went to a, listen to some music. And she told me, she said, listen, she said, you know, I'm looking for a husband. She's like, I'm a wife looking for a husband. Like, what do you want to do? And I politely rejected her because she should have this in mind years ago. And that was the last time I saw her. You're not going to keep making mistakes, ladies, and we're going to, be there for your rebound. We don't care. We don't care that you're lonely. We don't care that you're, by yourself. We don't care that, you can't do things that, by yourself that you could when you was with us. We don't care about your protection. And a lot of you women are going, I don't need you to protect me. That's a lie. That's a damn lie. You know how I know? Because look on World Star Hip Hop and look at all the women who have that same frame of mind. And look at all the tragedies that are happening to these women. And you can't tell me if a man was in their presence that things would go differently. You can't tell me that one man standing between them and what's coming after them would not make a difference. You got women who are getting their teeth kicked in. Literally. 3 guys jumped the woman and kicked her teeth in. Bah! They stomped on her face, waited till she got up and kicked her in the mouth. And the men that saw it stood there and watched. And not one of them came to her rescue. You women who think that you don't need men's protection, you are sorely mistaken. You need us. You women who finally figured out that you need us, you need to get on the ball. You need to tighten up your game, and it needs to be an everyday focus. You need to change the way you dress, get rid of them pants, put on things that make you feminine, put on things that, listen, get rid of that ridiculous makeup, that ridiculous hair weave, get rid of that stinking attitude, get your child right, get it right. Put on something that make us think that you're worth the time, the money, and the effort. You need to do it. And you don't, listen, tomorrow is too late for some of you women. You don't realize the rat race that you're in. I deliver refrigerators. I go to people's houses and pick up the refrigerator and I sell to people. A lot of people I sell to are single women. They try to get me to stay sometime. Me, my average looking ass. They invite me over to dinner and say, hey, you can come over anytime to dinner. I cook every Sunday. Just give me a call and you come over. Some of these women got some nice homes. One woman said, my husband died. I don't have nobody to, fix stuff. That's what she told me. She wasn't bad looking either. She was 60. Not bad at all. But she was 60. Nice house, nice neighborhood, but you're 60. If you were single, I doubt if you saw me at 30, you would have said the same thing. You would have looked at me and go, I could do better. A refrigerator delivery guy, you fix refrigerators, that's nice, but I think I can do better. But you're 60, now you're like, hey, you can deliver refrigerators, can't you? You know how to get in and out. Yeah, I could use that. Because my house breaks down and she told me I have to call somebody. She would rather that somebody be living in her house. But you're 60. I'm not in the market for a 60-year-old. There's some fine 60-year-olds, but not in the market. Maybe if you was 40, I would have considered that. She wasn't a bad-looking woman at all, but you're 60. And, you know, if I went out and said, you know, I'm gonna have my 60-year-old and I'm gonna get a, you know, 30-year-old, nah, you'd be pissed. You wouldn't have me come around too much longer. You see what I mean? Ladies, you gotta be careful with your time because you're just not gonna be, listen, you're not gonna be Lori Harvey forever. Lori Harvey's gonna turn into Jessica Fox. Real quick. Who you want to be is Judge Lynn Toler. That's who you want to be. Judge Lynn Toler, fine as wine. She went through it with her man, but she's still with her man. That's who you want to be as Judge Lynn Toler. What country, what color? Brazil. Brazil has dark skinned and light skinned people. And a lot of people think that uh, the image of Brazil is kind of medium brown skin because that's what you're used to seeing. But there are very chocolate Brazilians there because the Africans that were taken off the Ivory Coast, the majority of them actually went to Brazil. They had more slaves there than they had here in America. So, yeah. And I mean dark like you, dark. So, there has been a mass exodus of men, black men, who've been traveling to Brazil. And there's a whole documentary on it. I think it's on, shoot, I forgot, but it's on YouTube. You can just look it up. But I know one guy who actually has said, you know what, I'm gonna go traveling. And he's gone into Brazil and he said it's exactly what they say it is. So yeah, Brazil is. See, a lot of people are saying come to Thailand, but I'm not attracted to Thailand women. They just way mixed dark skin with good hair. No, the pictures that the guy I know has shown me, he's shown me the ones that have the long hair and all that, and he's also shown me ones with hair just like mine. And that's what kind of woke me up because I had my own image of what they look like till he showed me like 12 different females. I was like, wait a minute. And then he said this was the one I was attracted to the most. She was the darkest one with the nappy hair. But he said, unfortunately, he doesn't think she's alive anymore because she liked to run with the wrong crowd. And he thinks they did her in. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, but that's the one he chose, you know. And then I saw him with the, heck, he was in a hotel with the young lady. She was like 25. I was like, who you with? He showed me her. She was as chocolate as he was. I was like, whoa. Couldn't even speak a lick of English. Well, that he is a she that you're talking about. Dark Skin TV is a she. And I am not really sure what the good hair comment meant, but you know, you guys can figure that out. It is funny though. Like maybe you know what? The person who made that comment is a highly intelligent person who expounds their opinion on a daily basis. So break that down what you meant with the good hair. Because see, it could be a compliment and it could also be a, you know, a source of rejection to people with hair like mine because nobody looks at my hair and goes, hey Tone, you have good hair. This is not the image. Okay, so what is my hair then? So this is an age-old argument amongst black people. So now what's my hair? Because I think that's what middle polar pillar, I think that's what they want to know. Black people don't consider nappy hair to be good. Okay, so according to you, I have bad hair. Okay, so the straight hair you're talking about is the European style hair. Okay, now so there it is, middle polar. Uh, they was talking about hair that's not like mine. I do not have good hair according to the standard. Uh, but that's okay with me because I like my hair. And in my mid 50s, I can still, produce a head full of hair that I'm proud of. I can't, I'm okay with that. And I don't have any gray hair. I don't dye it or anything like that. So yeah, I don't. Might be maybe one or two, but I don't have a bunch of gray hair, so I'm doing okay. You love nappy hair. It's good hair. It's good hair to you, but it's not the standard. If there was such thing as good hair in the dictionary, we looked it up. My hair would not be there, and that's a damn shame. You would have some long, flowy, yaki horsehair that would be considered good hair. But I know what you meant by women with the good hair. And yes, in Brazil, there are a lot of women who are running around with hair like that. But like I said, the person that I was uh, talking to down there, he was attracted to women who looked like him. He has nappy hair just like me. I have nappy hair. He chose, and when I say he was with some good looking women and they wanted to be with him, I am not even playing. Like, this is, I didn't believe it until I saw it. And when I say this dude is an average looking guy who, listen, he's average looking dude. And a lot of the women he's dealing with are taller than him, just as smiling, happy. Well, listen, young, this dude is in his 50s. Some of these chicks are 25, 26. And listen, guys, it's a different world outside of the States. And you can wrestle with this, but so long, because your knees are going to get, your knees are going to hurt, your back's going to hurt. Eventually, you just want to have someone who's agreeable. And that's really what it turns out to be. Who's not going to fight with me in the morning? I had a woman I used to date. She would wake up and say, let's argue. Like, where, how can I get around that? Because I'm not going to argue with you. Now, I can understand if you're somebody who is outspoken. But if you're like that 24/7, if you're boisterous, you're constantly like that, and it's towards me, then I can't, I'm leaving. I'm not. I've had women yell at me, and next thing you know, I was gone. They didn't even know I left the house. One woman yelled at me, and she went into the bathroom, and I was sitting on the couch. And she's like, "I'm going about." She went to the bathroom. I watched her go into the bathroom. I got up off that couch. I jumped into my truck, and I was gone. By the time she called me, I was almost home, and I lived like 5 miles from her. She's like, "Where are you?" I said, "I'm almost home." I'm not putting up with you. I don't need you. You're not going to yell at me, because if I start yelling back and you challenge me, you get in my face and do this whole feminine thing where you think that you can hit a man and you strike me, I'm going to pick you up by your damn neck. And I don't want to do all that. That's not what you're there for. So I'm leaving. I'm taking myself out of the equation because I know me. You don't understand how simple you are. Well, a lot of women think that men are stupid, and they take simplicity and mix it with stupidity. And you hear a lot of these feminine men talking about, men are stupid. You hear, a lot of these stars will say, like Steve Harvey will say something like that, because men are stupid. Men are not stupid. Every time I hear that, I'm like, that's not funny. You hear a lot of comedians say this. Men are stupid. I'm just like, the world you live in was built by men. How many women scientists do you know? The world is open up for women to do whatever. Nobody's holding women back. Tell me how many women are into science, engineering, how many women are in the space, how many women are trying to fix the sewers, how many women are in the construction, building AutoCAD, how many women jump into these areas? Not a lot of them. These areas are still flooded by men, still predominantly flooded by men. Why? There's more women walking on the planet than there are. There's more women in each state than there are men. Why? Why is there more men into the sciences that construct the whole damn world, especially the modern world? Why is that? When you say men are stupid, well, that just can't be. It just can't be. I'm not talking about stupid. I'm just saying in terms of things. So, yeah, we listen. We want a sandwich, sex, and silence, and we'll give you whatever you want. If I had a wife that came in the house, after she got off her job or whatever she wanted to do, if she chose to work, he came in the house and was loud. I'm just gonna be quiet and listen. And then after I get enough of that, I'm gonna tell her something has to change. If she did this repeatedly, I'm gonna say something has to change. You either change what you're doing or we're not gonna be together. And she's gonna have to make a decision on the spot. But if she came in the house and was upset and, at something that happened that was out of her control, a car accident, somebody said something to her at a grocery store, one of my neighbors said something out of line, and she was upset, came in the house like, yo, blah, 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 blah. I can understand that because it's a one-off. Somebody pissed you off, and now you're coming to me because I need to handle something. I'm with you. Hey, somebody got you tight. Let's see what we can do about it. Okay? But if you just coming in the house ready to bang, and I'm supposed to be on your team, you have the wrong man. And just because I'm quiet or I'm nerdy, I like to write songs, I like to play my video game, I like to watch Netflix, I like to chill. Just because I'm like that, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't listen to loud, crazy music, I don't talk with my hands and all this other bullcrap. Don't think that I'm not a whole man. Don't think that I'm not that guy. Don't think that I'm not going to throw down on these streets, because I will. Don't think that I'm not going to go and get myself a source of protection if somebody I love is in danger. You seriously have the wrong person. I just don't go around advertising it. I had a guy pull a gun on me last year just because he was in the middle of the street and I told him to move. He pulled a gun out and him and his friends jumped out the car. I said, yeah, I'm going to knock both of you out. And he showed me a gun and I said, I could care less about that. Get out the street. And he said, I'm from, Chicago. I said, I could care less. Get out the street. He got back in his car. His friend got back in his car and they got out the damn street. That's it. And that's all. Now, if I was one of them crazy dudes walking around with a Glock ready to gun somebody down, one of us would have lost our life. I'm just not that. I'm not interested in dying over stupid stuff. I'm not. I'm sorry. I don't go around picking fights. But if somebody messes with somebody I love, I'm gonna hurt someone. But women think that because you're meek, some women, excuse me, because you're meek, you're calm, you're chill, they think that you're a pussy, you're a punk. I don't even wrestle with women like that no more. I let those women go on about their way. And I move in silence. I like science. I'm into molecules. I'm into gravity. I'm into things that you might not be into. I like watching shows like The Expanse. I want to know about space. I want to know about plants and animals. I talk to trees. I pick up pennies in the parking lot. If you want to call me some type of weakling for doing all that stuff, then maybe you need to look up, space travel, time travel. You need to look up flora and fauna and see how the plants can heal you and see how we have trees that actually walk. Okay, so if you're not into your own surroundings, that's on you. But me, I want to know how everything works. I want to know. I'm into, to the Bible and the history of man and all that. I'm into all that. And if that makes me a nerd, I'm happy with that. Is one reason why a lot of women wouldn't bother with me, because I would talk about these things. They would be like, oh, you're weird. I'm like, what do you want me to talk about? What Lil Wayne is doing? What do I care? What do I care what Little Baby's doing? Ooh, you want to talk about Jay-Z or what the what? I don't I don't give a goddamn. Those people don't care about me. I want to know how to heal my injuries without going to the hospital and taking pills that are just going to make me worse. Can you give me some info on that? Huh? Do you know what mitochondria is? Do you know what it does in the body? You have no idea what a mitochondria is. Not one. Yeah, mito who? Not one. And then I got to educate you on what it is and what it does. So, yeah, for guys like me, there's a space for us, you know, and there's only certain women that get us. There's only certain women that, get moist when you start talking about, you know, cellular, mitosis and meiosis. It is only certain women that be like, oh, talk that mitosis, because most people don't even pay it any mind. And then you're strange or you're gay because you know about cellular reproduction, and you're getting into the weeds with DNA and stuff like that. And you go to school for it. You went to school and you learned about it. Oh, you're gay. You got a 4-year degree, you're gay. This world is lost. This world is lost. But yeah, I just wanted to express myself. You guys, for you men who are still, active, still want to have a beautiful woman at your side, start considering traveling. You're only going to jack off so much, guys. You're only going to watch so much porn. That's going to lead to an addiction that you don't want. You're going to run out here and try to knock a hole into somebody you shouldn't. That's going to turn real bad for you. Start considering your other options, which is travel. There are plenty of women. Listen, these women have gathered in droves and have paid money to come together as a collective in some of these countries, and they get all dressed up and go to these forums just so a man could look at them. Kid you not, you see it all the time. There are ads now for women of the Ukraine and women of Yugoslavia and Hispanic women, Asian women. I don't see any of them for American Black women. Do you want to date a Black woman? I've not seen one. For a bunch of women around the globe, there are ads that are popping up on YouTube. Do you want to date these women? None of them are for Black women. Black women, you're not being left behind. You're left behind. You're the most unwanted woman for marriage on the planet. Now just drink that in. The most unwanted woman on the planet for marriage. But you're probably the most highly sought after when it comes to sex. Your value is not in the way you think. Your value, according to man across the globe, is only in your ability to spread your legs. That's it. And it's not to have children with you. It's just the act of sex. Especially dark-skinned women. Men go far and wide into the continent of Africa just to sleep with a teenage Black girl. If you don't believe me, there's a documentary about it. If they go to the poorest countries, European men, to get these girls, all ages, that are pretty much under 18. And the police can't do nothing about it. There's no military, there's no nothing. All the people are living in squalor. So the money that the white man gives them is all they have to bring to their families. It's so bad that these children will go walking on the beach looking for this white man so he can do whatever he wants to them, whatever he wants. There's a whole documentary series about it. The value of the black woman is 100% sexual. 100%. It's not in your ability to create. It's not in your ability to sing, to dance. It's not in your knowledge of science. It's not the fact that you helped the European man get to space because you were some of the mathematicians on some of those, trips. It's not that. It's not the fact that you created the heating systems that everybody uses across the globe. No, we don't take that into consideration. You're not, listen, it's not the fact that a bunch of you are doctors, a bunch of you are lawyers, a bunch of you are highly creative and very intelligent. We don't care. Lay down, shut up, spread your legs, and be happy about it. Or don't. This is the way the world thinks. Do it or don't. No? Okay, bye. You get no support. No love, no nothing. Your kids, there's a black woman just recently left her kid in the middle of the street. Dropped that kid off and took off. Your kid gets no love. No love. Shut up, lay down, give us sex. That's your trade. Oh, you got some mouth? Okay. You want to be mouthy? You want to fight? All right. We'll just leave you to your own devices. That's it. We don't care how smart you are. The world doesn't care how smart a black woman is. The first black female vice president, that's some bull. Where's she at? Please explain to me how much the vice president has done in your life. How many events have she spoken on that are major? Where is Kamala? Where is she? Let's do this. What's the last major thing that Kamala spoke about? Did Kamala come out to the Uvalde shootings? Did she come out? I don't even know if she came out. Did she come out? Because the president did. Did Kamala come out to the Uvalde sighting? Did she do that? What's the last thing? Yeah. Please explain to me. What's the last thing Kamala did that you can remember? I'm curious because I don't remember her doing anything. Nothing. What's her position in the White House? And listen, if the president, yeah, she don't represent me either. She's Indian, as a matter of fact. But here's the thing: if if Joe Biden died, do you think Kamala would be president? I'm gonna tell you right now, she better pray every day that she doesn't become president. Every day, she better be checking in on Joe's health. Make sure he gets his meds. She better not even think or try to convince Joe to run for another presidency. Kamala better get out of there while she can. Because if she doesn't realize what she's up against by now, she's just stupid. We saw Michelle Obama everywhere. Speaking engagements, speaking out against this, speaking out against that, dancing. You couldn't get rid of Michelle Obama. She was a trendsetter. She sold out Target dresses. They found out where she was getting her dresses from. The little $30 sundresses she was rocking. They sold out of them. Bang. All the white women wanted to be like her. What has Kamala done? I'm just curious. Because the answer is zilch. She hasn't helped written any policies. She hasn't gone at all these shootings. I have not seen Kamala show up at one of these shootings. I could be wrong. I hope I am, but I haven't seen it. You talk about Obama. Well, they did their dirt too, but Michelle, she does care. She did what she could. All that dancing and stuff, she was like, this is what I can do because we're not in control. So I'm going to play a position that I can play. They hate me. They call me all kind of names. That was Michelle's whole thing. I'm going to go high. They want to go low, screw it. I'm going to dance. All of you talking about me and how I look bad. Well, why is it that Target sold out of these dresses? And why is it that Target's main consumer are middle-class white women? So now you got a bunch of white women who look like me, but you called me ugly. Now, please, somebody explain that. Explain that to me. Michelle was all right when she was talking that go high stuff. She did it her own way, and she put herself right out there. But you don't see Kamala Harris at all. I'm just trying to tell you, black women, your value is between your legs when it comes to this world. The Asians that have spilled into Africa, I don't know if you've seen any pictures of that, but for one, the reason why they went in there is for the gold and to steal their land. But they did it under false pretense. You know what the Asian boys are doing? Banging them 12-year-old black girls. They got pictures of Asian men with their hand on two girls' breasts. The girls have no shirts on because that's how they run around. He's got his hands on both their breasts. What do you think he's doing? That's what these Asian men are over there doing. It's like black women, listen, when men call you queens, when men chase you down, when black men call you queens, when black men chase you down in Good Morning Beautiful and all of this, do you really think that you're getting that same treatment outside of the United States? There's a young lady who does TikToks and she travels. There's a couple of them actually. One of them went into Spain. Good looking girl, woman, excuse me, went into Spain, young 20 something. She says, I never experienced so much racism in my life. Another girl, she's down there in Mexico and beyond. Same thing, same complaint. You really think that hey queen, that good morning beautiful, that high love, like that you're so sexy, that we love your skin color, all the stuff that black men say to you and you take for granted, you brush off because you want to be an evil woman. You think all that stuff is all over the planet? That's what you think? Do you know how many black women are kidnapped all the time? You need to go to some of these countries in Africa and see how these black women are living. Some of these tribes beat their women, and their women still beg to be with these men. Beg them. They have scars all over their back. You ladies are living in a protected bubble. But as soon as you leave outside of that bubble, you realize the harshness of the world that hates you simply because you're dark. simply because you're a black woman. These girls are experiencing it because they thought they could travel to these other countries and everything would be okay. Some of you go into China and you have people taking pictures of you. You know what the Chinese really think of you? They have gone over to Africa and have taken picture with children. And in their language, they're saying that dark skin is bad. They're saying that yellow skin is good. They're telling these kids in their language to say that you hate dark skin. And these kids are unawares of what they're doing. And they're famous in China for degrading their own kind because the kids have no idea. Well, they had some people to go and catch up with these guys, and they all denied it. No, that's not us. We're not doing that. But there's pictures all over billboards in China, all over the internet of these kids and the words that they don't understand that they're saying. The world hates us. There are over 700,000 slaves in Africa right now. What do you think happened to Gaddafi when the US went over there and killed him? What do you think happened to all the Africans over there? You know what they did? They tried to get into Spain. Yeah, they tried to run a gauntlet to get into Spain because they knew if they could get into Spain, they could get into a European country and they could be protected. A lot of them died doing that. A lot of them have to cross a desert just to get there. Look at Francis Ngannou, the guy who was a UFC guy. Listen to his story and how he actually got here to America. You wouldn't believe it. The fences that they have up around their cities just to stop black people from coming into their cities because they're running from modern day slavery. They're running from the atrocities that are committed by their own people and the destabilization that Europeans have done to their country. And this is all modern. This is going on right now. You don't understand the hatred that is out there for black people, and you women just take it for granted, and you have no idea the damage that will be done to you if you fly into the wrong country. There are some countries that we know about that if you go into these countries, you might not come back. And this is a danger for men. I knew a guy who went into, I think it was Barbados or one of those countries. He went to one of those islands on one of those trips, had a passport. They saw his passport when he was trying to return, and they said he wasn't who he was. And he said, yes, I am. I'm an American. This is me. That's who I am. They said, no, you're not. And he had to wait. They had to put him in the holding and the wait because you know what their game is? They get rid of you, they take your passport, and they come into the country as you. What do you think they do? Feed you tea and crumpets? No, they kill you. It's what they do to some black men. What do you think they're going to do to you women? Listen, when we went to war, America went to war against the Saudi Arabians, right? Over there in Kuwait. We went to war against them. There were soldiers, American soldiers, that were caught, right? Now, we have a thing, we don't like to leave people behind. We go get them. There was 2 females that were caught. One of them was a female pilot from the Air Force. Her F-15 got shot down. Bang, they captured her. Put her in captivity, whatever. Another one was a regular soldier, black female. They captured her and her crew. Of course, they separated her. They did an interview with both women. The white woman talked like she just went on a Sunday trip to just another country. The black woman was shaken profusely and couldn't tell them what happened. What do you think happened to the black woman? Just use your imagination. The white woman had no worries. The black woman was traumatized for the rest of her life. These countries hate you, black woman. And you can pass off a compliment all you want. You can act like it's nothing. But when you women travel to these other countries and then you start giving a report on how the men sneer at you and how they threaten your life and how they talk about the dangerous things they want to do to you in broad daylight and the police know about it, then you come back to America and you appreciate when a man says, "Good morning, beautiful," instead of, wanting to scratch his eyes out. Now, I understand that there are a lot of men that approach because that's that's what we have to do. Listen. We don't get our seed planted if we don't approach a woman. It's nature. You have a womb. We have to get to that womb in order for our DNA to come out of your womb. It is just as simple as that. So you have men that try you on a daily, and we understand. You got emotions, you got things going on with you. We don't understand that. We're not going to either. We're not going to understand what's going on with you on a daily. It's not our fault. We're not built to understand that. You can't sit a man down and tell him about your menstrual cycle and accept him to fully understand all the gears that are turning within your body just in order for you to have a child, let alone have a good day. You can't do it because unless he's a scientist, half of that information is going to be lost. Because our prime directive is plant a seed. That's it. That's our prime directive. So we're going to approach you. Now, society says you have to watch how you approach a female, or it can, backfire. So I get it, ladies. There's a lot we just don't know and we almost don't care about. But there is a decorum to things. So yeah, you're going to get approached a lot. If you're good looking, you're going to get approached a lot on every angle, especially if you're on social media now. You can get approached around the world a lot. It is what it is. And listen, you ever seen an okay boomer chick? What do you want? Whatever you want, boomer. You ever see that okay boomer chick? Good looking white woman, little young thing, doing her own thing on, on social media. She had a bunch of followers when she did that. The second she said that she had a boyfriend, she lost 70,000 followers. Bang. Why? Because in our mind, we have no chance to what? Procreate. It's simple as that. You got a boyfriend, 70,000 followers, gone. Know how much money that is? Gone. All those donations they give you just because you're good looking. I got a boyfriend. She said, she didn't even say I got a boyfriend. She said, well, my boyfriend and I, bang, that was it. She's still on Twitch. She's still doing stuff, but not even close to being as popular. She would have been better off not seeing anything. As soon as she opened up her mouth the wrong way. Why? Because she thought that these guys would still be here. No, they're there for one reason. To try to jump in your DMs, to try to jump in your pants. That's it. We want to know what we can get out of you. And if we can't, if there's a barrier to entry that we can't get around, we're out. We move to the next female. This is why there's more females on the planet than there are men, because there's always a barrier to entry when it comes to a woman. Whether it's the way you feel, whether it's where you live, whether you have a man, whether it's your father, whether it's your religion, there's something that's in our way, and we have to keep going from one to the other, to the other, to the other, until bang, we finally get what we want. That is nature. That's just the way it is. So, hey, I like to apologize, but not really, because it is what it is. You women need to understand what you're up against when you leave these countries. And you need to understand what you're up against while you're in this country. You need to stop looking at your regular everyday guy and going, he's useless. You need to cut that out. Now, we understand you can't smile at everybody, but if you don't start looking at the value of just your neighbor, just a regular guy who if you don't understand his value, you're hurting yourself. You're not getting any younger. My neighbor wanted me to help her with her car the other day. She got a dude. That's cool. It was some little thing. I was like, okay, fine. But she understands. See, what she did at one point, before I knew that she had a man, was I told her she was a good looking woman. And she was disgusted. And when she did that, I stopped communicating with her. And she felt it. Because she actually said, I miss my boyfriend because he would come out in the morning and make sure that there was nothing out here that would bother me because I get up early and go to work. See, when he pulled out of here, there's not that many men around here who give a damn about you. The majority here are Hispanic or white. The other one has a wife. He has enough to worry about. I'm the single guy here. I see you every day. I know when you get up and go to work. I could easily step outside and be like, you good? Yeah, I'm good. I could have easily done that, but you were disgusted. So what I'm going to do? I was like, okay, cool. Once I saw that, peace. I didn't give a damn. She felt that. She changed that up real quick. She didn't come on to me, but she started being friendlier to me. And now her dude is back, and I don't know how long that's going to last. But nonetheless, she's still friendly to me now. You see what I mean? Recognize the value of the people around you, ladies. Because you can curse people out. You can be mean and spiteful. That's your legacy. That's your reputation. That's what you have to live with and on. You got to stand on that. We know her as a mean, spiteful, just a ornery person. Do you think we're going to go through hell and high water to help you out, even if we know we can't get in your pants? I can't get in that woman's pants. I don't even try to. I don't care to. But if her dude isn't around and she's in trouble, you think I'm going to help her or not? If she's nice to me, I'm going to help her. If she's not nice to me, I'm going to let whatever happened to her happen. It's not my woman. It's not my responsibility. I'm not going to change her tire. I'm going to tell her, wait on her man. You're mean as hell. My tire's flat, could you? Absolutely not. People come to me all the time, ask me for help. You know why they do that? Because they know I'm handy. I have a truck with a trailer. They see me hauling refrigerators all the time. And I mean, they'll cross the street. Hey, could you? Because they see what I do. But for the ones that are mean and spiteful, and I lead them to their own devices. I told this one lady, I said, listen, your truck is about to break down. Shouldn't be clicking that loud. I'm just telling you what's going to happen if you don't put oil in it. That mean ass woman. Next day, I saw her truck. I saw her. I was like, what happened to the truck? She was like, it broke down. I said, see, I told you. She said, it's not funny. I said, all right. I never spoke to her again. She had to spend money and go get herself another vehicle because she wouldn't buy a couple quarts of oil. She could have even asked me to do it. I would have been happy to put 2 quarts of oil in there, 3 quarts, whatever she needed, and then told her when to get a new oil change and did all the guy stuff. I would have done that for absolutely free. You know why? Because she has 2 kids. She has like an 8-year-old little boy and like a 5-year-old little girl. And those kids, they don't deserve you being mean. They deserve a community to watch over them. They deserve every chance they have at having a better life. And sometimes that's just a guy who knows something about cars. Because if your car is not running, then you're going to be struggling in an area somewhere. You can tell me I'm wrong all you want to, but some of y'all can't get around without your car. You don't know how to ride the bus. You'll call an Uber in a heartbeat because you don't know anything about the bus. You don't know when the bus runs, where it runs to. You're scared as hell to be around a bunch of other people. You're not going to do that. Her car broke down, bang, went out. She had to go and buy another vehicle and still run around mad. I'm not dealing with that black woman. So I just, wanted to talk about this because We have options. And you ladies need to know this. Some of you ladies who even have men, listen, if you got a good guy, hold on to him. Do that. Like, some of my listeners, they're married. Some of you have, guy friends, husbands, boyfriends, whatever your relationship is. But if you have a good guy, there's nothing wrong with letting them know that you appreciate them. Listen, you're not a slave if, making them a ham sandwich every now and then. Get off of social media and the stupid stuff that they're saying. There's nothing wrong with, hey, you need your shoulders. I got you. You get them shoulders for you. Bam. Because that will go a long way. Not, hey, babe, could you roll up my shoulders? I'll do it. Now you just do it. Guys like that stuff. You get them shoulders. Bam. I'm trying to tell you, you want to get the best out of your man, get them shoulders every now and then. Just do it. Just do it. And you will see your man do a 360. The stuff that you wanted out of him you couldn't get, you'll start getting. He'll just do it. Because that's what we are. We're simple. Sandwich, sex, and silence. We're good. It's your boy Tone 202. Thanks for stopping by. You guys take it easy.